On September 23rd, 2017, LeBron James tweeted, "You bum, Stephen Curry 30 already said he ain't going, so therefore ain't no invite. Going to the White House was a great honor until you showed up." This is the Museum of Twitter, the show where we talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. It's Sports Tweet Saturday, and anytime one of the greatest athletes who ever lived calls the sitting president a bum, it's going to be an important tweet. And it came to mind for me this weekend because the Eagles just won the Super Bowl, and it's unclear if they're going to visit the White House. They didn't go in 2018 when Trump was president then, when he uninvited them because some of their players said they weren't going out of protest. And so it's unclear if they'll go now. I have some doubts, especially because Trump was publicly rooting for the Chiefs. And so yeah, that reminded me of the time in 2017 where LeBron James called Trump a bum for uninviting the Warriors. Basically what had happened is that after winning the 2017 NBA Finals, Stephen Curry was hesitant to go to the White House because of Trump's policies and obvious reasons, and because of that, Donald Trump tweeted, "Going to the White House is considered a great honor for a championship team. Stephen Curry is hesitating. Therefore, invitation is withdrawn." And so LeBron responded to that by basically saying, "Yeah, he already said he's not going, so there's no invite necessary, you bum." And I think that that's just great. I think it's just very cathartic for one of the most famous people alive to just say, "Yeah, you're being a freaking bum, Mr. President." Because I'm sorry, hearing whispers that maybe one player doesn't want to visit the White House and then canceling the whole invite for the team publicly, making a big show of it, I think that that is bum behavior. And LeBron was, of course, asked about this. You don't call the president a bum as a very famous person without getting asked about it. And this is what he had to say.
Any regret that you got into a name-calling situation with the president?
No, it's not a name call. It's no, you bum.
He went on in a very thoughtful answer to talk about how Trump is in the most important position in the world, and kids look up to him, and his behavior matters, and he's disappointed in the way that he's acted. And while opposition to Trump has always been loud and public among many famous people, even athletes, I think LeBron making this statement was important because LeBron is on like a level above almost any other famous person. And it's in stark contrast to the possibly apocryphal quote of Michael Jordan saying, "Republicans buy sneakers too," when refusing to endorse an opponent of an avowed racist in a Senate race. And obviously there's been a lot of debate about whether or not you should treat Trump as a normal president, whether there are things that you should keep politics out of, whether you should disrupt the tradition of a championship team visiting the White House in the name of politics. And to be clear, people had boycotted visiting the White House before Trump. Bruins goalie Tim Thomas famously did so to Obama in 2012. And I think before this incident, there was really a question of whether or not sports teams, especially teams from leagues that are majority-minority, would treat Trump as a normal president. And obviously that question has not had a universal answer. Some football teams have gone, most baseball teams have gone, hockey teams have gone. Basketball has been harder to get people to go. But I think it is hard to be the first team to be like, "Yeah, no, you crossed the line, we're not gonna go." And I think the thing that I found most annoying about the hand-wringing is that a lot of people were saying like, this isn't politics, you go to the White House, this is above political yada yada yada. And I think that that is a completely disingenuous take. Because obviously there is a line that we all would have where we would not want to be in a photo with a politician. Whether you're on the left or the right, there is a thing that a politician could do where you're like, no matter what, I don't want to be seen in this person's White House next to them. And the disagreement is not whether or not that line exists, it's where the line is. And so yeah, Stephen Curry found a lot of the things that Trump did and said, particularly I think his comments about Colin Kaepernick, to be over the line. And he's like, no, I don't want to go. And personally, I think that that's an incredibly reasonable thing to do. If you think a politician's comments are beyond the pale, you should treat him like he's beyond the pale. And if he's beyond the pale, he's not just a normal White House to visit. I know some people get mad at me when I get political on here, but Donald Trump said that he's above the law while I was doing research for this episode, so at this point, I really don't care. And so I want to say that I think in the next 4 years and beyond, it's very important for people to ignore the inertia of, well, this is what we've always done. It's always normal to do this. This is beyond politics, yada, yada, yada. Because that will get you to endorse a lot of things you don't want to endorse. It is very much in the interest of the worst actors to make you think that everything is still business as usual. And I honestly think that the sports world might have kept treating Trump like business as usual if LeBron James and Steph Curry didn't rip off the band-aid with "you bum." And in the moment, most people on sports Twitter were celebrating LeBron, they were clowning Trump. The great Rembert Brown tweeted, "This is what happens when your president can't go left." The Kid Mero quote tweeted and said, "LeBron the GOAT," which by the way is still a sentiment that is echoed today. Claire DeLune in 2024 said, "This is when he won the GOAT debate, TBH." And in hindsight, I agree with Chrissy Crowley, who says that this is one of the defining moments of the Trump presidency. Although, unlike Jessica Smetana, I don't remember exactly where I was when it was tweeted. A great thing I did see when I was going through quote tweets is that Carly apparently voted in 2024 wearing a Nike "You Bum" shirt. I don't think that those were actually officially released, but she got one, and honestly, it's a great shirt. I would love one. And a great fact that was pointed out in 2018, and I think is still true. As far as I can tell, it is still true. This tweet from LeBron James got more retweets and likes than any tweet Trump has ever had. And I think that that is a fact that is really important to sit with, because Donald Trump loves to make it seem like he is the most popular person in the world, especially on the internet. But if people who think it's funny to call him a bum outnumber the people who actually support things he does, then we might have some hope. And by the way, I actually don't even think that this whole confrontation was the most famous example of someone refusing to go to Trump's White House. There was a time where Megan Rapinoe was asked about going to the White House, and she said,
"I'm not going to the fucking White House." No.
What an absolute queen. Follow me for a new tweet every day. Consider subscribing on Patreon, patreon.com/Museum of Twitter, where you can suggest what I do on Subscriber Sundays, and you can watch the Weekly Museum of Not Twitter. And please donate to my fundraiser for the Trevor Project at trevorproject.com, and send your receipt to museumoftwitter@gmail.com to win some prizes. I'm doing a live stream on the 22nd about it.